Welcome to NiuLuChong. Located in the Guangxi-Zhuang Autonomous Region, NiuLuChong is the historical gem unearthed by some construction workers who were probably just looking for a place to hide while napping. These lucky folks stumbled upon the remains of a city dating back over 3,000 years to the early Shang dynasty, around 1600 to 1050 BC. NiuLuChong was no ordinary Bronze Age city. This was a city which had double walls and moats because apparently one set of walls wasn't paranoid enough, and these residents were clearly prepping for an ancient apocalypse, which, by the looks of things, they did eventually get. It's as if the ancient NiuLuChong residents were saying, "Oh, you think one set of walls will keep us safe? Hold my rice wine." NiuLuChong was a well-fortified settlement, likely serving as a significant center of trade and governance in the region. The presence of moats further emphasizes the importance of security and defense for the city's inhabitants. These folks weren't just building a city, they were constructing the ultimate Bronze Age panic room. When the archaeologists descended, they unearthed a treasure trove of pottery, stone tools, and carbonized rice. Yes, you heard that right, carbonized rice. In case you're wondering or confused, carbonized is fancy archaeological speech for extremely fucking burnt. These people were so dedicated to their stir-fry that they managed to preserve it for millennia. Move over Gordon Ramsay and move over Heston Blumenthal, who would be speechless. You can just hear him complaining. It's raw. Oh, nah bro, it's extremely well cooked and it's ancient and you'll eat it or you'll starve. Your choice. The city's layout measures a modest 165 meters north to south and 140 meters east to west, covering an area of 23,100 square meters. That's about the size of a small shopping mall, only without the food court and relentless, annoying teenagers desperately begging for a slap. But what NiuLuChong lacked in size, it made up for in sheer historical significance. This place wasn't just a city, it was a Shang dynasty microcosm of ancient awesomeness. These findings suggest that the inhabitants of NiuLuChong were skilled in agriculture, craftsmanship, and urban planning. These people may have lived 3,000 years ago, but do not for one second assume this age makes them less intelligent than you, because they were not. Nestled in the region of Lingnan, the city at NiuLuChong was a key player in the Maritime Silk Road, the ancient equivalent of Amazon Prime. This ancient trade route connected China with other civilizations through maritime trade, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and culture, making this one of the ancient world's richest cities. The discovery of NiuLuChong sheds light on the early urban development in southern China, proving that ancient city planners were just as neurotic about their traffic flow as we are today. One of the most intriguing finds was the city's advanced hydraulic engineering. These ancient urbanites didn't just build moats for show, they were serious about their waterworks. I like to think their city council meetings went something like this. Okay, team, we've got walls, moats, and enough rice to feed an army. Next item on the agenda. How do we keep our city from turning into Atlantis? I suppose at some point someone would have stuck their hand up and pointed out that they are on a mountaintop, so that might help, but nevertheless, the inhabitants decided it was impossible to be too safe and carried on regardless. The city's layout and infrastructure indicate that the inhabitants had developed sophisticated methods for managing water resources, which would have been essential for agriculture and daily life. In conclusion, NiuLuChong is an archaeological goldmine wrapped in a historical enigma dipped in the absurdity of human achievement. It's a testament to the ingenuity and eccentricity of ancient China, where urban planning met culinary preservation in the most unexpected ways. So the next time you're stuck in traffic or burning your dinner, just remember, you're part of a grand tradition dating back thousands of years. It's not burnt, it's just a wee bit black. Just add some salt and be quiet. There's people out there who are starving, you know. You know who else burns a lot of food? My wife. She calls it carbonized too, because she thinks it's funny, which it bloody isn't, but that's just the life I live now. She says she does it to punish me for each time one of you doesn't like or subscribe, so for the love of all that is holy, please subscribe. She's even found a way to burn ice cream. and I've never been more impressed and hungry at the same time. Also, there's a Patreon if you like to buy me a coffee. Click that link below too. Now, much of the footage for this video was taken from my own self-made map for the game Cities Skylines 2, because I'm addicted to reimagining history, and this is one way I satisfy that urge. Follow that link below to download the free map and play too. As for this map's information, well, it looks a little something like this. Climate 11 to 27 degrees Celsius, buildable area 9%. Outside connections, roads, rail, air, power, natural resources, wheat, 39.7 square kilometers forest, 154 kilotons or 111 kilotons. Oil, 41.1 kilotons. Terrain. A very difficult map, very mountainous and very hilly with a few flat areas. Now, don't be put off by that 9% buildable area that might be what the game says, but I myself got a city population here to over 250,000, and it wasn't too difficult. In fact, it made for a far more interesting challenge than the usual flatter map, and challenges are fun, so feel free to get stuck in and see what you can come up with. This is mine, and in this reimagined history of more than 5,000 years of continuous inhabitation, NiuLuChong remains one of China's greatest cities, not in size or population, because it's barely a village in modern Chinese standards, but in importance and food. NiuLuChong is now China's most important exporter of chickens. Don't ask why. Sometimes it's better not to know, but it is what it is, and what NiuLuChong is the place where China now gets all its chickens. And look at what this booming chicken economy has given to this town. It has given wealth and some of the world's most spectacular bridges, like these beauties connecting the mountains and their residents. Before the chicken economy, money for this kind of infrastructure was tough. But after the chicken economy, money flowed in, and now traffic is able to get from one side to another without going absolutely mental. The rich people live at the tops, of course, with excellent views over the city. And the dirty peasants live down at the bottom, where the sunlight barely touches and knife crime is rife. Especially here, both my greatest slum and also my greatest achievement. It's called Little Darkton on account of its high rises and it being mostly under the bridge. Education here is barely a concept, as is healthcare. No reason why. I just made it like this for the shits and giggles, and if they don't like it, then they can just pick themselves up by the bloody bootstraps and move somewhere else. And there's this, the Grand South Bridge, which brings in traffic from the south and offers splendid views. On top, there's this beautiful view of the bridge, and if you look down, you'll witness China's largest rubbish tip, and still growing too. I had thoughts of cleaning this up at one point, but decided, nah, keep going. The rubbish here will likely one day be used in the foundations of another bridge somewhere down the road. This is China, after all, and waste not, want not. Here we witness the grandeur of NiuLuChong International Airport, or as I like to call it, NiuLuChong International Airport. It's not the biggest, but space is tight, and we make do with what we have. To the west, this great ancient and historical city is entered by one of its train stations, where you embark at the small satellite town named Horse's Nose. And if you speak Chinese like I do, then you'll understand why that is absolutely bloody hilarious. No worries, if not, life is a roller coaster. And that's it for now. That's what NiuLuChong looks like today, or at least that's what it might have looked like if those Shang folks hadn't abandoned it all those years ago. Feel free to make your own city, of course. Don't let me stop you inevitably doing tons better than I could ever manage. In the meantime, that's all for today. Thanks for watching another wee bit of history, and hope to see you next time. If you don't come back then, I'll assume it's because you don't love me anymore, which is sad and will make me cry. Cheerio for now, dear friend. Peace, love and burnt rice. Goodbye!